Hello and welcome to another episode of the podcast, The Remedy of Poetry. And I'm very, very happy that you are here. And I'm very happy to be here and to share my poetry with you and my ponderings about the poetry and inspire you a little bit with that. Poetry can help to shift the energy in our body. Hearing poetry and writing poetry, especially as well. But I think the metaphors, the rhythm, the rhymes, and the spaces in between and the pauses, especially, that's where the magic lies. And that's what brings us into alignment. And also, poetry helps us to center ourselves. When I write poetry, I cannot do anything else at the same time, which means I'm really focused. And then it is almost, it is a meditation. So, focus is today's topic, as well as I want to share a poem from my book, Limitless Sharing the World or the Word Through Love's Eyes. And the poem is Zoom In. And I'll just start with reading the poem for you. If you want, you can close your eyes if you're not driving, and just take that poem in. Get your pen and paper ready and a journal, because maybe you want to journal a little bit afterwards. You want to take some notes. That's always good. And yeah, enjoy. This is called Zoom In. Zoom in and see the whole world in the close up of your soul. Stand still and focus on who you are. Look outside by turning inside, inside out, outside in. Flip the image, drop the struggle, and live your life through the magnificent magnifier of love. Ooh, I wrote this poem, I think, when I was on a nature walk and I took a picture of a raindrop on a leaf. And I will attach it here as well. And if you have reading my newsletters, then you have seen it in a post. I think it was the Mindful Monday post, where I already published it. It's a very close up where you can see the water drop and then you can see reflections in that water drop. So if you are really going close to a drop of water, of morning dew or rain on a plant, and the sun shines, then you can see a whole world in that little drop. And I think this experience that changed me. Like I saw it and I was like, oh my God, how cool is that? That this whole world is just in that little drop of water. And I always like that because I feel like it aligns with how Rumi, the poet Rumi, says that we are not just a drop in the ocean, we are also the ocean. Like we're like, we're part of the ocean melting into oneness, and I love that. And somehow this poem came out. So let's pick this poem apart a little bit and see what's behind the words. So when I read through that poem or through any poem, I always like to think about or to see which line particularly stands out to me, as opposed to analyzing rhythm and rhyme. We were not doing that here. We're not at school. We're just using the poetry for growth and self-reflection. So when I look at that poem, and my poetry is always teaching me something new, and sometimes after I get back to a poem after weeks, it teaches me something else because I have changed. My lens has changed. That's the beauty in poetry, because we read the poetry like we are. And the line that stands out to me is close up of your soul. Close up of your soul. Because in a way it is a kind of an oxymoron. So if you are not familiar with that term, that's a term in poetry. And I don't want to use sophisticated terms here. I just love that word so much, oxymoron. The word itself, it's like, it's beautiful. Like I like the sound. It just means that you have two meanings that are not fitting each other, that are contradicting each other in a way. So, yes, and my cat wants attention. Yes, so close up of my soul somehow stands in a tension to each other, because the soul is expansive, it's around us. So how do we close up? How do we focus on our soul? How do we zoom in into our soul? How is that even possible? And I think that's where the words inside out, outside in reflect very well, because when we are and embarking on this journey towards our soul, we we need to flip the world. We go from seeing first and then believing to believing first and then seeing. We go from observing the outside to observing the inside. So we flip the image, we flip ourselves around somehow, we flip our whole worldview, and everything turns upside down. And that's why it feels so chaotic to embark on this journey sometimes. But we we are also stirred up somehow. And then the words look outside by turning inside definitely reflect that as well. So um, we can only see the whole when we have connected to our inner well, when we know that on a deeper level we are so much more than just this physical meat suit. And then also stand still and focus on who you are. That's very important as well, because without standing still, we cannot focus. So if I hadn't stood still and really focused on that raindrop, I wouldn't have seen the beauty. So when we don't stand still, we miss all the beauty. So it is important in life that we sometimes stand still, and we're so uncomfortable with standing still because we have been trained to to be in action, to really create something new. However, creation is coming about naturally, it flows when we are standing still. Then it comes naturally. So we don't even need to hustle so much. And yeah, so that's the standing still part. Very important for zooming in. Very important for really taking in our soul, because it's something also that we need to sense, that we need to feel. And when I'm rushing through life, I don't even have a feeling for myself anymore. I don't even have a feeling who I am. And I think this feeling requires a holistic view, like mind, body, soul, everything. And to have this holistic view, we need to stand still and align everything with each other. So if we want to focus on who we are, we need to take time to do that. And then flip the image, drop the struggle. That's something as well. Like, drop the struggle. That came because of the raindrop, right? So that was my inspiration, this drop. And then how a raindrop naturally lets go of, sounds strange, but well, it's language. Let's go of the leaf. So how it just releases the tension and just drops to the ground and melts with the earth and becomes one again and then becomes rain again. So it's this whole circle, this whole cycle. And we tend to hold on so much in our lives when the beauty is in the cycle, in the circle, in the flow. So to just drop the struggle and to just release the tension, let go, and just trust that we might take on a new form, but we will still be important and we will still be part of the whole and we will still be in this beautiful world, taking on whichever form we need in order to experience ourselves through this form. So, and then obviously love comes in because love is who we are, the magnificent magnifier of love. And I love this line because love magnifies. Love magnifies beauty. Love magnifies everything. Um, Now, I think fear does that too. However, that's exactly the issue, right? So, what we focus on, we get more of. So, if we focus on fear, we get more fear. If we focus on all the things that are wrong, we will get more of that and see more of that. But if we focus on love, we will focus on that and see more of that, and we will get more of that, and it will get really, really big. And wouldn't that be great? That's part of my mission. Wouldn't that be great to focus on love and to get more of that and to really dare to go for that beauty and the love and the feeling, to to enhance the well-being of the planet. So that doesn't mean to look away when someone's suffering. It doesn't mean that we can't hold space for people who are grieving or people who are in despair, but it means that we can still focus on the love and the wholeness of everything. And by zooming in on these moments, we create more of it. And just imagine everyone would do that. How great would the world be? So I invite you to get your journals ready to now journal on a few questions. So, first question is, how can you shift your focus towards love? So, if you are in a challenging situation, for example, or you had, like, I don't know, an argument with someone, where can you find little specks of love in that? Where is the focus? Like, maybe that someone that argued with you, like, um, wanted to convince you of something because they want to you to be well, for example. However, it didn't align with your version of being well. So that's why you argued, maybe. But, so just find these little specks. I think in every situation, we can find love in every situation. As much as we can find fear in every situation, we can find love as well. So make a little bit of an effort, um, or use it as a general question. How can you generally shift towards love, your focus towards love? What's the little thing that you can do? Maybe look for the hearts. That's always a good one. And the second question is, try to observe within the next days, to observe how where the focus goes, the energy flows really applies to you. Like the effect. Can you observe the effect of where the focus goes, the energy flows? Can you observe that? And just maybe take note and say, okay, here I focused on that and that got bigger. And then just observing, no judging, no, oh no, I did it again. Just observe so that you see the rule in that, the law in that, and eventually then can direct it better. And then the other question is it's a two-part question. Where do you need to zoom in? And where do you need to see the bigger picture? So which parts in your life needs a little bit of a close-up, and which parts of your life need to see the bigger picture? Where is it good to zoom out a bit? And it's always good when we are stuck on one certain thing in the past, for example, to zoom out on that bigger picture is always helpful. And sometimes it's also helpful to zoom in on one thing and look at that a bit closer with curiosity and wonder always, just like you would approach a raindrop that is falling off a leaf, just like that, just looking at it and observing it and getting curious. What can I see in this little thing? What can I see in this little feeling that I have, or in this one situation? How much of my life can I see in this one situation? How much of myself can I see in that moment? Thank you so much for being here with me. For those who listened on Spotify, thank you so much. Please, if you can, rate the show, subscribe to the show, that you get information if new episodes are out, when new episodes are out, and enjoy your life and enjoy this day, and have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. Lots of love from me, Saif, Nicole, and yeah, thank you so much.